Woo.
All right, we're live, and Allison didn't shave again.
Yeah.
But Akira the Don is with us tonight. How you doing, man?
I'll give you. I'm just posting a link. I'm doing the link posting thing.
Oh, dude, yes, thank you so much.
This,
That's fantastic.
Feels like the right thing to do.
Wow, I haven't been here for a week, so I forgot everything I'm going to do.
Really?
Good
That's how long it takes.
Good Logic will be joining us here soon. YouTube, thank you very much. It's kind of crazy. Last episodes I had, Alice has been gone, doing her thing for a bit. And let me see, before she left, I had to do a show for Allison because Allison was suspended for a week. And then I had Matt Orfala. Matt Orfala was on because Matt Orfala was suspended for a week from YouTube for videos that he didn't even publish. But not to worry, we had a week of Nate the Lawyer. Nate's a good boy, so we were cool to go on that. But then I had I had Rich Barris on as the last episode before I went. He was suspended from YouTube for a week. So why not keep tradition alive? And we have Joe Neerman of Good Logic,
in the
latest
flesh.
bad boy that I know. Everybody I know suspended for a week. How are you doing, Joe?
Thank you. I got Akira. I have the Akira the Don DJing my suspension.
Yeah.
Exactly,
You get the appropriate sound effects.
Thank you. I needed a Good Logic in the house kind of thing. I did that like Dwight, like Dwight from The Office. That was bad.
Well, quite literally, a little bit of house, but more trip hop, right? I'm probably going to get them all screwed up because I don't know the genres. However, Akira, I have been reading a book that you might actually enjoy. I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm just going to read something different.
Right.
And it's not coming up. I think it's called The Hit Machine.
Is that the one about Phil Spector's
No.
gang?
No, it's about the Swedes.
Oh, I love the Sweet.
Yeah. Well, I hope you do because they kind of are influential in that. But yeah, it's all about the Swedes, and the freaking app's not opening right now. So good on that.
Are you aware of the Sweet? Good Logic?
I'm not.
Do you know that song Ballroom Blitz from Wayne's World?
It's not,
oh yeah,
sweet. Oh, I
the Sweet.
I thought you were saying
Yeah.
Sweet. Yes, the Sweet.
I would say
the
Sweet.
Sweet.
Are you ready?
Dish.
Are you ready, Frank? Uh-huh.
Andy, Mick.
Uh-huh.
All right,
All right,
fellas.
let's go.
Yes, exactly. The Sweet are amazing. Some of the best haircuts ever committed to a head by man or beast. Or committed to the heads of the Sweet. I think they're Brummie as well. I think they're from my neck of the woods in the UK.
Well, there you go.
They're iconic. They're great. I don't know how to call them iconic in the way that if you hear 5 notes like bump 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 bump, you know what that is. As soon as you hear 5 notes.
I don't know what that
the
is. What's
Song
that?
Machine.
Oh, please.
I got the name wrong. It's called the Song Machine, Akira.
Really? You trying to show me up here?
Bump bump.
Yeah.
It could be a number of things.
Bump bump.
Oh, what is it good for? Absolutely cockle. Say it again.
So close.
No?
Close.
Bump, 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 bump. Oh, you're talking about Olivia Newton-John and what's his face?
You know way too much music.
Dyed eyebrows guy.
You know way too much music. I was referencing Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, that's down.
Oh, by the way, that's going to be a story on this episode, Joe. Thank you for jumping ahead.
I was thinking about that story, and I was like, wow, those 5 notes. Anyone hears those 5 notes. Anyone hears them. Right away, they know what I'm talking about, and suddenly I get War. What is it good for? That was. Totally didn't.
But weirdly, they're kind of the same song when you think about it.
Boston, More Than a Feeling.
What a great record.
There's been accusations that Smells Like Teen Spirit ripped off Boston.
It ripped off a lot of things. They did love Boston. I've heard. I remember Kurt in his lifetime saying he loved Boston. One thing I found out recently, which was really cool, was the drums on that record. That was Homeboy. I've forgotten his bloody name now. Foo Fighting gentleman.
Dave Grohl.
David Grohl. David Grohl. He was doing a Gap Band impression. He was doing disco drums. That thing was a disco thing. And if you listen to that record, thinking disco drums, it blows your mind because that's literally all he's just doing disco drums. So
Makes sense.
that's part of the appeal of that record. People love them disco drums.
Well, it's got a hook from hell for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay. First off, Akira is not a drinker. So what are you having? Water, coffee?
Agua, baby.
Agua. That's right. He's in Mexico, guys. So
that's right.
It's going to be agua.
One of the first words I learned.
Agua. I'm back to my old traditional raging bitch. With the
you was on the Ralph Steadman last week, weren't you? You was on the Ralph Steadman. He was on the Ralph Steadman IPO or whatever with homeboy Ralph Steadman, who illustrated the Hunter S. Thompson books.
Yeah, this is his art. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I didn't remember the artist name, but yeah, that's.
How can you not remember the? He's a good Welsh man. He's a fine Welsh fellow, Ralph Steadman. And I used to drink that shit. I used to drink those Ralph Steadman boozes back in the day, just because I like Ralph Steadman drawings. So I would drink them little Ralph Steadman tins, you know.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All right, Joe, what are you having? And you've just been called out in the comments or the chat.
I have. What I've been called out for?
Who does Hunley think he is with his monopoly on internet lawyers? Want to come on the show? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I didn't say it doesn't work. I just was like, why is he the only one who's able to ask that question? So
actually, everybody brings up a good point. Hold on, Joe. And for those who missed it,
we don't do this. Eric Hunley has the whole monopoly. I don't know who that son of a bitch thinks he is, that he's got this whole monopoly on getting panels of lawyers together. But we should be doing that on our streams, like way more. Like
I did this way before him. I had the big brain panel before Eric Hunley even existed.
My favorite part is Nick going.
Nothing bad ever happens when you drink too much. Nothing bad at all.
So what are you having tonight there, Joe?
I found the Glen Roths. So
all right. So at 100 likes, Joe's gonna drink.
Okay, I can do that. Nice. That's what I do on my stream, and I'm not gonna be doing my stream for like another 5 days or so. So
you hit 1,000, I'll crack open the tequila that's downstairs.
Oh, nice.
I'm in a Mexican Airbnb, and they got stashes of tequila all over the place.
So now, why are you in Mexico? What happened, man? I mean, I didn't really get into that, but you just went through a hurricane. You're in Mexico. What's up, man?
I'm just a victim of the legal immigration system. I'm just a victim. I am the victim here. I'm a victim. I got that card. I got that. I got a new visa, American one. It's the Alien of Extraordinary Ability visa. Says that on it. It's very cool. But to get it like working, you have to leave the country and come back in again immediately. Oh, wow. It's like, get out now. You got approved. Get out last week. Go now. And so you go, you get your wife and your family, and you pack up as much of your studio equipment as possible into a couple bags, and you go, and then they tell you, because of Tom Hanks and his filthy disease, you know what I mean? There's no embassy appointments till 2022 anywhere. Lord. So you just kind of, it's like you're stuck. You're free. Actually, you're free. You're free to go to Playa del Carmen and live a life of luxury in a sort of tropical Airbnb type situation.
Do you have an immigration attorney?
I do.
Because I'm surprised your attorney didn't advise you that once you're in Mexico, it's totally okay to just sneak across the border. If you have COVID, they'll put you in a hotel.
they'll send you right back to Texas.
I don't know why you're in Mexico. That's the perfect place. That's if you want to come to America. You're better off being a Mexican coming here than actually being me or Eric. So
yeah, word around town. I don't know if I passed for a Mexican though, and I don't know if they haven't accepted transracial identities yet.
Work on the accent.
Once the transracial thing is in, I'm cool. You know, and we've probably got about 8 months before that works. Then shouts out to that Korean lad from London.
Yes. Yeah.
Shouts out to him. What a G! I love that kid.
No one knows if he's genuine or. I heard some rumors that he's a troll.
Of course, he's a genius. He's like 6'9", who learned from 50 Cent before him, who learned from Jordan Peterson. Obviously, the other way around. You know, there's certain ways to play the game in the modern world. You know, and he's very good at it. That kid. He reminds me a lot of 6'9". He reminds me of another guy I worked with called Jesse, whose father was an Australian newscaster, and he sort of parlayed that into becoming a sort of like daily fixture in the Daily Mail, just by like doing trollish things and setting up fake relationships with ridiculous surgery level porn star girls and things of that nature. It's like once you're in that world and you've got those guys on speed dial, you just have to come up with the silly. They just want a new story, so you're like, here's the story, and you literally go. I've seen him do it. I mean, I produced some beats for this kid, and I'd hear him. He'd be there ringing up his contacts at the Daily Mail. All right, next week we're going to do this. So this is going to be my new girlfriend. Right. And like, she's got this amount of followers and she's got this on Instagram. So that'll be good for you guys. And you guys turn up and we're going to do this and da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's the vibes. You know,
well,
anyway.
I got to do another drop, guys. I mean, we're barely into the show. And guess what?
It's my face. It's my face.
What happened?
It's my face.
Yeah,
YouTube sees my face.
Oh,
And-
dude, I use this booze. I have a nightmare of a time. I'm demonetized already on the video. I've even got a drop for it called Wear Yellow. You know the yellow dollar sign? You've seen it before, Akira.
Yo, why are you demonetized? You haven't done it. What have you done?
I haven't talked about anything yet. That's what I'm saying.
Is it my fault because it's Tom Hanks? Is it because I used it? It's Tom Hanks that used to go under the radar.
It might have been my immigration advice. So
Oh, who knows?
No,
Who knows?
it wasn't. It was your brilliant Nirvana impression that they think is the actual song.
thank you.
Well, no, that would be demonetized. I get the red one with the freaking splashes
true.
through it.
It would have gone dark.
Oh
on you.
God.
So the yellow one is just like, we don't like your subject matter. We're not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
run
So
Burger
I
King
request for
adverts.
manual review. They'll let 90% of the views go by, and they say we approved it.
Yeah, YouTube, baby. Shout out to YouTube. It's such a fun game.
Oh yeah, it's a treat. It's a treat. Don't quit your day job. That would be my advice for
You
all.
actually submit appeals. Like I never tried.
Oh, I do it
doing
instantly.
those.
Yeah.
I never.
Well, why not? I didn't do anything.
How often do your appeals come off?
Yeah. How long does it take for you to get here back?
Probably. Well, like I said, about 90% of my views will go by, so it'll be tomorrow evening probably, and I'll be down to a trickle.
What's your hit rate though? Like, as in how many get approved and how many get denied?
Oh, I've only had one denied.
Really?
Wow.
Every other freaking one. Oh, there you go, unclassified name. Thank you so much.
Huh?
This is why we have Super Chat, who's going to fill in, save the day, and thank you very much, because it's not going to be freaking YouTube.
30% of that goes to YouTube.
Do we have an email address for news with booze? Go ahead and send it. Just go to erichunley.com. I got a contact form, and we'll go back and forth on that. Please check that out. By the way, Tom Hanks disease is great, Akira. I also say beer bug. And for the other thing we can't talk about, it's called Fauci juice. So, Joe,
Yes.
you've been suspended for a week. So, Fauci juice.
Fauci
Do not
juice.
let.
Just to let you know, I actually referenced as Fauci juice on the video that I got.
Oh, of course you did. Well, anyway, that's from Legal Mindset. But yeah.
I've been paying attention to this because a lot of these, I watch a lot of weirdo channels, because I like to have a broad basis of my view of the world.
Thank you
And
so much.
there's some real weirdo channels that have to communicate completely in like made up gobbledygook so they don't get spotted by the algorithms. So they say things like sticker and Ballytan and Bo Jiden and all this kind of stuff. So like listening to things like literally pretty much every other word is like a made up gobbledygook word so they can exist. And you find you're like, yo, this is like selling. This is like being a crackhead in
Yo,
like
turn up.
1983. You know what I mean? It's like you having to exist in that world of serious slang. You know what I mean? For serious reasons, because the feds be watching your every move. So you got to talk about the Ballytan and Bo Jiden and the Donald. No, they call them the Don or something, and flipping all this type
Well,
of
it's like
joints.
drug dealing, dude.
Exactly, that's what it is.
Drug dealers have code for their product.
Slanging them
They can't
facts.
talk about it on the phone, so we're in the same
Slanging
thing.
them.
Oh, Ziggy Drug. Thank you.
Smarts.
Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, Akira, I don't know if you noticed, but Joe is also known as Anton LaVey. And when he gets back on camera, you can confirm. Thank you very much, Ziggy Shrugged. Yeah, this is going to be fun. All right. Well, you know what? To start the show out, I've got to have something fun. And in order to properly do the grift, and on the grift, by the way, it's unstructured.locals.com. Akira the Don, locals.com.
Yeah.
Goodluck.locals.com. So everybody, at least follow everybody, please, because it does really help out a lot. This I just put on my locals.com, and my wife shared it with me, and I have to share it with everybody because it's very disturbing to me. So you all enjoy.
What is this?
You like heights?
I thought she was going to be stood on top of a pile of milk crates.
Oh, that's coming too.
Hi, Mom. I'm on top of the world.
Push! Jump. Jump.
All right, that's enough before I get that demonetized.
Yeah, God don't like that. God ain't happy about that. That's a Tower of Babel. That's what that is. And God is going to smite her down and reduce her language.
By the way, if I was on top of that tower like her, I would be babbling. Down.
Yeah, on the tower. That's special effects. That's like them robot videos. I ain't real. I don't believe that shit.
Okay,
I don't believe nothing I see on the internet anymore. Like literally nothing. I don't believe anything at all. I'll entertain ideas, but I don't believe a single one of them.
All right, fair enough. All right, and
we're post belief.
Post belief. On that note, and you did bring it up, Akira. This one's on you. So you're going to explain it. The milk crate challenge. Tell me what the hell is going on. And what's up, man?
Well, Nietzsche predicted this. Nietzsche predicted this a long time ago. You know what I mean? He said, like, God is going to kick the bucket, and then people are going to have such a massive hole in their existences spiritually and shit. They're going to start building piles of milk crates and climbing those joints is like competitions in order to feel connected to other human beings and to have some kind of self-worth. You know what I mean? And to have some kind of competitive spirit in a world which will smash that out as it becomes a collectivist nightmare dystopia. Right, so you have to pile up milk cartons. And what's funny about this, right, is like they're piling up these milk cartons and they're climbing up them. Just in case you didn't know, and you don't know, that's a thing, right? And they're stacking up pyramids of them, giant pyramids of them, as towers of Babel, reaching up to the firmament above. And God's like, fuck off, shoot. You know what I mean? He's like, do not come up here. You're supposed to stay down there. And they're coming up on these, and they're doing weird shit like rolling a blunt while they're doing it and breaking a record for doing that, or like reading a book while doing it. Most of them are just falling on their asses and breaking their legs, which leads you to think a couple of things. One, where are all these milk crates coming from? Right? Mm-hmm. Is this like last year when piles of bricks were appearing in the hood and shit? Like,
oh, really? Yeah, I remember that.
Piles of milk crates just popping up all over the place, right? And then all of the able-bodied young men, right, are breaking their legs. You think, Q Bono, who benefits? Is it Tom Hanks? That's what I wonder.
All right, Joe, everybody's yelling. Turn up your gain on your mic.
Who? Who, me?
I turned them up too on my end. So, well, okay, dude, Akira, you said Nietzsche. I would say that maybe they're really trying for that other famous individual from the 19th century Darwin.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
maybe
that
they'll
guy.
get an award.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that guy's shit is being tested every day, right? They testing the daylights out of that theorem.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if it's real because a lot of these people are still around, and there seems to be more of them every day. So I don't
There
know
we
if that
go.
shit's real.
Is that better?
Yo,
Yeah, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better.
Okay.
All right. So, now,
first of
now
all,
I got a lawyer.
I just
got
want
a
to
lawyer in
point
the
out.
mix.
I want to point out a few things
Lawyer.
here. Akira picking out of all the philosophers for him to pick, for him to choose Nietzsche as the one for that example, actually tells me that he studied a hell of a lot of philosophy, and that because there's a lot of philosophy. What he described there is almost exactly what Nietzsche would have said if he had seen this. So. Awesome job there, Akira. With respect to my knowledge of this thing, the first time I saw the milk crate challenge, it was a video of some white guy who was like doing weightlifting. Someone handed him weights, and he basically climbed up to the top and started pumping. And they were short on milk crates, so he had like two other of his friends who were like moving the milk crates around to help him walk up and down while carrying those weights. And what was funny about it is that there was a black guy who actually commented on that video. He's like, you see, now if I was doing that with my friends, instead of trying to move milk crates around so I could walk down nice and gently, they'd be trying to kick the milk crates out from under me. White privilege.
Of course, it always goes to that. Lovely.
Nah, he was joking. He was totally joking. It was actually, it was great. But,
yeah, it's pretty funny.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So while we're on this, we brought up Nirvana earlier. So here we go. Joe, we got the lawsuit. And by the way, for YouTube, so I can't be accused.
You
I
just
got
censor
the-
that baby's whopping dong.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, please cover that up because
It
according
is covered up.
Okay. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look because I just wanted to share with you that technically, by the standards of this lawsuit, for showing that picture, he could sue you too.
But I didn't. I did
Right.
not, because
Yes.
I said between YouTube and his capriciousness and having a problem child lawyer on the stream, I'm going to find a ridiculous photo so I can show it to everybody and
done.
wave it.
Well done.
So
Yes.
Where is that
What do
baby
you-
now?
this suit.
That baby is Eldon Spencer, and he's suing Nirvana. That baby.
Is he still suing
Yeah.
Nirvana? I thought he was doing that like 10 years ago.
No, he was upset about it like 5 years ago, but he actually filed his lawsuit like within the last 24 hours.
Why is he upset? Because they. Why is he upset? His dick looks massive in that picture. He should be very happy.
Right. Well,
Oh no, they put me on the front of an amazing album. Like I can impress any rock chick on earth.
it's
know what I mean?
an iconic picture. I mean, it's a picture that like
Yeah.
it's one of the most iconic pictures of the 20th century, I would think.
I feel it
Yeah,
wouldn't,
It's not
it wouldn't
Dark Side
fly
of the
these
Moon,
days.
but it's close. I mean,
Well, anyway, so the nature of the lawsuit is that that's Eldon Spencer, that baby. That picture was taken 30 years ago. He's 30 now, and he is suing 17 different defendants, including each of the members of Nirvana, the estate of Kurt Cobain, the producer, Geffen Records, the photographer, and there's basically I don't know, 15 to 17 of them. And he's alleging that under 18 USC 2252A, that you can recover for it's a federal statute that has no statute of limitations, that says that if someone is sharing an exploitative picture, that can
good job. Good job.
of
You're getting tricked.
of a minor, that it is something that you can get up to $150,000 per instance, and that's why he's suing all 17 of them each for $150,000. It's not a
Hold on.
collective thing.
I got to point something out, Joe.
Mhm.
What's in front of the baby?
It's $1 on a fishing hook, and he's
I
literally
think you call
he's
that
still chasing it.
foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yes. 30 years later, he's still a baby. So, if you ask me seriously, what the chances of this suit actually succeeding, I don't think it fits the qualifications of something that is labeled blank graphic as the statute references it.
No, it's not. Jesus.
At the same time,
Ricada did a video on it. He's right, because technically that means that everybody who has the album technically can be prosecuted. All the record manufacturers, the printer, everybody. So if it was to really fulfill those requirements, it would be an endless stream of $150,000.
Which is why
people.
the defendant, which is another reason that for that reason alone is another reason defendants should feel confident that this suit would never pass muster with a judge or jury. That being said, the reality is, if he came to me with this case, if you're the lawyer who he comes to with this case, I think you have to say, let's do it. And the reason you do that is because in many jurisdictions, New York is one of them. I wouldn't be surprised if California is similar. It's all about the potential liability versus the culpability. So when if you want to sue someone, there's two elements you have to prove. First, you have to show liability, and then you have to show damages. When the damages are significantly high, even if the likelihood of success is relatively low, so defendants are happy to throw money at you because they're like, you know what, I'd rather throw this guy $30,000, $40,000 than have to pay my lawyer $30,000 or $40,000 to defend this garbage, and then if I lose somehow, I'm going to get hit with $150,000. So they bite the bullet, and what I expect is going to happen is they're going to settle, and they're going to offer collectively. I would imagine he's going to get well into six figures between these 17 defendants. I don't think he's going to get anything like
How about his parents? Are they defendants?
Well, this is what I've been wanting to ask. There was someone very important missing from that list of responsible people for the baby appearing on the front cover of a massive album with his wang out and possibly being about to drown.
Technically,
or
no.
Get his face hooked out. No, they should be at the top of that fucking list.
You're talking morally. You're talking morally and ethically.
Yo, this is a disgrace. I want to hear from them. Where are they on this? Where are they? Does he even
Do they have any of the pictures?
Does he have parents?
Do they have any of the pictures?
Yeah.
If they don't have the pictures, then he can't name them as defendants.
He can name his parents. They're the ones who signed over and took him there.
They'll have pictures. They'll have a frame on the mantelpiece.
The water, potentially.
I think he would have a weaker claim against them, only because the whole point is possessing and distributing. So, and if they don't have the actual picture that they're possessing and distributing, hell, let's face it, reality is they probably got a picture of it, as a wallpaper in his room for the last 20 years.
He's probably
sure.
Yeah, so
I'm sure he picked up chicks with it too.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a money grab. I'm sure it's not nearly as traumatic as he's pretending it is. I'm sure it's not at all traumatic, and that this is purely a money grab. At the same time, it's a pretty decent money grab. It's not bad because you can expect the defendants are going to pony it up, and a lot of people out there. He's not the bottom of the barrel in society. That you don't have to scrape the bottom of the barrel in society to find people who would say, hey, you know what? If I can make $1 million or $500,000 for filing some lawsuit, and he'll do on contingency with the lawyer, says he doesn't have to pony up for his lawyer. So God bless.
All right, so the case is basically pictures of a minor being exploited all over the place, and the people responsible for those pictures, apart from the parents, eligible, right? So that amazing Desmond kid and all those other little kids are going to have mad lawsuits in about 10 years.
I totally agree with that. I think that's a great point.
You had me on the cover of The Guardian twerking when I was 6.
Now it's got to be something. It has to be something that will qualify as being graphic in a particular sort of way.
They had him at a strip club.
Okay, so yeah, I believe it or not, I've never watched anything with Desmond. I saw one clip once, and I said, "Woe into society," and turned to something else.
Yes, fucking threw the phone out. That shit kept going on my timeline. I had to keep throwing the phone out the window and getting a new phone. I wouldn't be on any of them FBI lists. I'm already on enough.
Do you
I
like
guess
hat?
so.
Do you
I
like
mean,
the
you
hat?
already
By the
got
way,
immigration problems.
you guys like
Let's-
the hat?
Oh yeah. Represent.
That's nice. I can't see, by the way. I ran out of contact lenses, so I'm living in a blurry reality. So
He's
I
got
don't
an
even know what's going on.
NYPD hat.
Yes.
On.
Yes. This is my genius idea. Genius idea. I came up with it today when I was going down because I was going to a rally about fighting against some sort of juice and laws about juice, and so it was down by City Hall in New York today, and I was like,
Juice has a lot of calories. It's unhealthy.
The people there definitely felt that it was that. Yes, the people felt that.
Yeah.
So with that,
Where's
with that being
Michael
said-
Bloomberg? I want reduced sizes.
Yeah, so I was looking for a hat because I was gonna be standing in the sun. And I was like, you know what? Let me get a hat so I don't get like burnt or anything. And I saw this hat there, and I have to tell you, this is the genius. I realized right away what would happen when you go on a train in New York City. You're supposed to wear a mask. When you go on Jersey Transit, the conductors will throw you off if you don't have a mask. But you know what? You know how you don't need a mask? You can buy a $15 hat that says NYPD, and nobody asks you any questions.
You're a fucking genius. You're a fucking genius, my guy. I wonder if that shit works on an airplane.
It worked. I'm telling you right now, it worked. It worked. And last time I was on New Jersey Transit, they literally threw me off for not having a mask. And today, the guy didn't even glance at me. He looked at my ticket for a second and just kept on moving. And I was
The only time I've had to wear a mask in the past year for any protracted level of time, more than like 30 seconds, has been when I got on an airplane. And it was very, very difficult. You know, I like to breathe. I don't know about you. I'm a weirdo like that. You know what I mean? I like breathing. It's just one of the things I've liked doing my whole life. You know what I mean? And when they stop me from breathing, it fucks me. And I wonder if I get one of those hats, I could get on an airplane and do some breathing, you know?
Yeah.
Like back in the day. Remember when you used to do breathing back in the day? It was so cool.
So now for the airplanes, you need to get a U.S. Marshal hat.
Yes.
And bring a pistol while you're at it. Oh, wait. No, don't go that far. Anyway, all right. So while we're talking about things, let's get in some real art. Next story. Everybody, we've been saved.
Yes.
And OnlyFans.
That's a terrible logo.
Show
That's a really cheap logo. They look like they got that done on Fiverr.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want? It's variety, dude. Variety. Isn't that your neck of the woods? You were living in LA. You probably hung out with them.
With who?
Variety.
Who's that?
Variety, dude. Variety magazine.
Oh,
Variety,
I DJ'd some parties for them. Yeah.
Of course you did.
They're some funny people.
Dude, if you DJ for Justin Bieber, I know you've been around Variety and TMZ.
Yeah, they funny.
Oh, my
funny
Lord.
word.
Anyway, I'm kind of disappointed, and I want to bring this theory to the greater minds I have here, and Joe.
Thank you.
And that is,
I appreciate you including me in the group that you want to bring it to. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, porn should be shared. No, I actually liked the fact that they were banning it because why did VHS succeed over beta as a technology when beta was a better technology?
So I had a better acronym. It was smaller. Nobody wants to be a beta. Nobody wants beta stuff in their life.
Yeah, but beta wasn't used back then. I mean, we
They should have called it alpha. They should have called it sigma, and then it'd have been fine.
Or Omega.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm messing with your bit.
No worries, man.
No, the truth. Tell me the real reason. She told me this off camera. I didn't know this. I didn't know this is why VHS won the game.
Because beta banned porn, and people wanted porn, so they went to VHS. That's why the technology won. And people don't realize it, but porn drives technology. Porn drove bandwidth on the internet. Why? Well, you get moving pictures instead of still pictures. It takes a long time to download a still picture on a dial-up. Need to get more bandwidth.
Shit, do you remember how long that used to take? Do you remember how long it used to take? Just that one picture, like, it'd be the slowest striptease of all time. Just getting down to the neck, like 7 minutes down. You're like, come on, give me a nibble. Just a nibble.
It was like a dot matrix, right?
Yeah.
You know, dot matrix.
Do you know,
ASCII porn.
I don't know how you did that, but you guys actually froze for me while he was doing that. That was the coolest thing in the world.
Do you know what the first thing I ever looked at on the internet was?
Tell us.
Yes.
Jerry Halliwell's nudes. That's what
Oh,
it
well,
was. It was like 1997 or 98 or something like that. And I got a free serve that suddenly started giving everyone. No one heard the internet, and then they suddenly were giving
They
away
had to be
CD-ROMs. And there was always these rumors that Jerry Halliwell from the Spice Girls had a saucy past and took some risque photos.
Yeah, you're right.
And so I went looking for them photos. I was all right. Let me test the capabilities of this internet thing. You know what I mean? Let me see. Yo, Alta Vista, boom, just like that. Jerry Halliwell, black and white photos, like chilling next to a tree, like with a weird sort of like hippie
I
crown thing
remember.
on.
That's right.
Yeah.
She put the spice in Spice Girls.
Yo, she put the
Yeah,
girls.
she
She
should've
put the
been
girls in it too.
Spice, never mind the others.
Yeah.
Because But okay, so if OnlyFans had maintained their ban, that would have encouraged people to try new technologies or other options like, shall we talk about Bitcoin? Shall we talk about blockchain?
Yeah, is that it?
Things of that sort. Because remember, OnlyFans was blaming it on the credit card processor, specifically MasterCard, saying, oh, hey, it's not us, it's MasterCard. Of course, MasterCard came out and said, no, we're fine with it. But I think that kind of thing actually drives technology.
Of course it does. You remember, like, YouTube thumbnails where you hover over them and they show you stuff. Like, there's all manner of technological innovation comes from that and the military. It's basically that, right? It's like epic scale murder and epic scale pornographies is what drives technology. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about this before, but I can't deny that it sounds exceedingly logical.
No, it's completely true. Now, here's the thing. Simps are desperate to give away all of their income to, like, girls on the internet, right? Simps are desperate to do that. They need to do that. And if they cannot do that with PayPal or whatever it is, they will go and look up what the flipping Ethereum or whatever is, and they will go get into that situation. They will learn about it. They will come to understand it. And then very, very quickly, banks aren't necessary, needed, or used anymore. It happens very, very quickly. As soon as simps stop spending money in a conventional fashion, it's over for that part of the system.
And
so I don't know what this was about. I don't know if what I would like to ask you two is what do you think was really going on here? Was this a testing of the water? Was this
no, I think it's true.
What's that?
I think that OnlyFans, the guy running it, wanted venture capital. And, everybody's trying to be somebody else. YouTube is trying to be Netflix. Somebody pointed out earlier, OnlyFans is trying to be YouTube adult. And then somebody else is trying to be nobody wants to be themselves, except Akira the Don, who created Meaning Wave.
It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke, right? You ever hear that Mitch Hedberg joke?
Which one?
Like, when I go to the supermarket, I see the turkey. The turkey is always turkey ham, turkey bacon. We're like, turkey, why can't you just be yourself? I used to draw you. Hey. Yeah, it's real. No one wants to be themselves. No one wants to be the turkey. Turkeys don't want to be turkeys. And I understand that because you get fucking killed at Thanksgiving. But like,
I think perhaps OnlyFans realized that they became a punchline.
You think?
And
a very wealthy, extremely wealthy, lots of money coming in punchline.
I don't know about punchline. Do you know how many rap records came out in the past like 3 or 4 weeks with OnlyFans as the title? It just suddenly hit the tipping point culturally. And I can think of 4 or 5 records up at the top of my head that had OnlyFans in the chorus that came out in the past month. Best one's by Morrison. If you don't know Morrison, he's a British drill rapper. He's very good. But anyway, it just hit that level just in the past 4 weeks. And it's very interesting that they then did this thing, which pushed him to the next level to the point that literally everyone was having the conversation.
Well, just to make the point for you, okay? I'm brand new to social media. I mean, I'm like younger than that babe, that Eldon Spencer underwater, okay? And as far as my time that I've been engaging in social media, and I've heard the first jokes I heard when I started streaming and stuff like that. The first jokes I started getting was, "Joe, you should do an OnlyFans," and it's that, and it's a known reference to the porn industry. So,
but that's fine. I mean, okay, Akira, and I want to defer to you, but you're in the industry. When you get that kind of mind share, you're winning,
Uh-huh.
aren't you? I mean, when you're a punchline, that means you've won. That
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They'd hit this
industry.
They'd hit this critical mass. The point when you're shorthand for something else, in the way, Google came to mean investigate.
Search. Right.
OnlyFans means something quite specific, like very, very, very specific. It was this perfect storm, like lock everybody indoors with the internet and nothing else. It's like simp. What is simp's gonna simp and is gonna I got a button for it, and and it's kind of got to this point. It's like if you ever go on TikTok, which I try not to do for various reasons, but like I'll go on there to stick a video up, like once a day or something, like, and all of the stuff it suggests to me is like young ladies advertising their OnlyFanses, and it's like an infinity of them. It's like I'd be really interested to know what the percentage of women under 20 or under 30 who started an OnlyFans in the past year was, because I think it would be pretty high.
COVID was, I mean, there were a lot, and this is the thing too. It's like, obviously there's big money in it.
So much money. If you send people,
females are going to get money by getting naked on a camera.
They just buying houses and shit. Like, and they put, I don't know how many of them are buying houses, but like you see the stories pushed a lot, and it gets propagated a lot. So there, this idea that you could be making $100,000 a month,
which is rare. But yeah, I mean,
but that's the idea, and that's what they're thinking. They're like, shit, I could do blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's true. And
but we still go back to the question: what was really going on with this bait and switcheroo?
I think it's for venture money, because he's not going to get venture investment by being known as a purveyor of adult material, and he wants to go into the next thing. That's why I said he wants to be YouTube.
But what's the next thing?
YouTube.
What?
YouTube wants to be Netflix. He wants to be YouTube. OnlyFans, in fairness, OnlyFans was not created, from what I understand, for adult material. I think it was created especially for like the European market, for like, they call it, you weirdos call it football, but it's soccer. Football. For the players, for fans who want to follow different players or whatever. And then the adult industry said, oh, here's a place we can go. And they kind of invaded it.
It was a paid Snapchat, and then it was discovered that it was lax, and it allowed you to put whatever you wanted on there, and I don't know how much of that was them pushing that mimetically. I
don't think they ever advertised it. I mean, because a lot of the adult performers were griping and saying, "Look, we brought all this money to you, we brought all this traffic to you. Your tweet was the first time you've ever referenced us ever." So, in fairness to the company, I don't think they ever advertised it. I don't think they turned it away. I think they said, well, the checks are clearing. We'll just kind of see what happens.
There's an investigation to be done into this, and an interesting documentary. Maybe Internet Historian could do it or something. But like, I'm pretty sure that the main financial, benefactor of the OnlyFans empire is a pornographer anyway, is an existing pornographer. So that would be a real coinky-dink if an existing pornographer set up a company that was supposed to be for football fans, and then accidentally became the biggest pornography company in the world. Whoa! I'm just trying to make legitimate businesses with footballers and shit. Like, keep getting pornography. I don't want to be in this world anymore. I was trying to do that. Yeah, we'll see. I know.
Well, and in fairness, like Allison, my normal co-host, before you grew the beard,
what do you mean normal? What are you saying about us? We're not normal. What are you?
God, no. Hell no. She did a piece with some OnlyFans artists, and they were talking about how some vulnerable groups are under threat because of it. Because of it being shut down, especially like the trans community, and some women who really would be doing strip clubs or escorts, and doing something on camera in the safety of their home is a lot safer and more comfortable than, shall we say, working in a club where they are physically in the radius of their proximity of their customer. So I think it's a valid point. And,
I feel that way about DJing. It's very dangerous going out there amongst the weirdos, amongst the the riffraff. You know, they could do anything. I remember those OnlyFans type girls. I'd be trying to DJ, and they would come and twerk up against my DJ booth like this. And the DJ booth would often be on little wheels, you know. So half of your job would be hanging onto the DJ booth for dear life to stop them twerking it halfway across the room, and thus destroying the event for everybody. So I'm glad that they're indoors. I think that's good for everybody. And we should try and keep them indoors because we don't need them outside causing havoc in the streets. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
It's a safety concern.
And
Thank
also,
you very much.
Simps need to spend their money. And I would rather Simps be spending their money on OnlyFans than Netflix.
Okay. I still have my Netflix, so but I'm not a
Really?
simp.
You still got Netflix?
Of course I have Netflix.
This is
I don't have
bullshit.
time to watch a lot, so I got it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wait,
All right,
so wait, you're anti-Netflix because of the whole cuties thing, or is it something else?
What's that?
He's asking-
Cuties. Is that a trigger word? Does that just do something to the
No,
algorithm?
it's a really supposedly disturbing thing because I haven't watched it. It's one of those that's like, okay, there's this thing going on here that is horribly representative, but I don't want to go watch it to prove whether it is or not.
No, I fall for that trap. I always go to that shit.
All right, yeah. No, Cuties is the next Eldon Spencer that you basically were referencing, and it was a documentary or whatever, a drama-mentary, basically representing like 11-year-old cheerleaders or whatever. No, they're not called cheerleaders. What are they called? They're called
Pause. Sorry, what?
Children.
no, those dance people. They're not technically called cheerleaders. I don't think.
Mimes.
Yes, that
Mimes
was the
are
word
the
I was
worst.
looking for.
Mimes are the worst.
Mimes-
If Netflix is making
Well, mimes
movies
are
about
evil.
mimes, you should ban them.
Yeah, mimes should be shot. So I
Ban
agree.
mimes. Yeah.
Okay, so-
is there OnlyFans for mimes? Because if there is, that should be shut down too.
All right, well, next story is from the legendary Akira the Don.
Hey, what?
Sent it to me earlier. And this has come up a lot. I haven't talked about it here, but a lot of the channels I listen to and talk to, this is a big concern. And it is quite literally, should your web history impact your credit score? The IMF thinks so.
They're hilarious with their thoughts, right? All these funny things they think. Shit.
Wow.
Well, yeah, they're following China. I mean, China has a social credit score.
Yeah,
this is
it
not
does.
new.
No, it was in Black Mirror like 7 years ago.
Oh, shit, it's been in China longer than that, dude.
Yo,
Wow.
yo.
Wow.
Yo, they're so brazen. They're so brazen
God.
with their creepy shit. It's like, what creepy thing could we do today? And we'll just push it out there and see what people say. And the normal people will start going, yeah, that's a good idea on Twitter. Yes, we should do that. That's a good idea. Let's do that.
I can totally
All
see
right,
that.
hey, on
Why,
to the
yes,
grip.
Marge. Why, yes,
Hold
Marge.
on,
We'll be able to
grip.
get a lower interest rate now.
Got to get the grip in real quickly. Michael Palmer. Hi, Eric Hunley. Did you hear about that poor old man who accidentally fell into the upholstery machine? Guess what? Good news. He's totally recovered now.
What?
So,
Now, the emphasis was on totally, and that confused me when I was trying to understand that joke. Totally recovered. Surely recovered should have been the emphasis.
no, that's true. But hey, he wrote it and he did a super chat. And I totally
$20
support
as
it.
well. Yay.
So,
Michael Palmer, what a guy. Shouts out to Michael Palmer.
hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. Okay, so, I mean, to me, it's like, okay, Captain Obvious, should we have a web credit score? Obviously, I would say no because I'm an American.
If you want to live in a dystopian hellhole, if you want to live in a nightmare world beyond the imaginings of Aldous Huxley and what was his name, George
Orwell?
Georgina, Albert, you'd have to, yo, if that's what you want, yes, do it. You're a genius if that's what you want. If you want to live in a dystopian hellhole beyond the wildest imaginings of Albert Huxley and Georgina Orwell and all them other cats who wrote Fahrenheit 93762454327, who wrote every single movie in the 80s. Oh, yes, that's what you do. Otherwise, fuck right off. That's it. That's your article. Boom, done. Next. What is with these people?
Oh my God.
Dude, we're buying time. You're supposed to talk about it for a minute. Joe, give us
I
a
got the
thought
format
on
wrong.
answer.
Yeah, it does sort of feel like, I need to wake up from this dream where the aliens are like using tentacles and just probing and trying to figure out exactly what they can discover about me. Could there be something possibly more invasive than that? I guess technically if they put a chip in your brain and
Well, Bill Gates wants
that would
to.
be worse. That would be
Doesn't
worse.
Bill Gates want that?
Yeah.
Softly, softly, catchy monkey. One thing at a time. Like first, you got to stick your finger in the butthole. You know what I mean? You can't get like fist right up there right away. You got to be,
A little science here, a little medical intervention from Akira the Don. All right,
hashtag
thank you.
science. It's the OnlyFans conversation.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, that's true. We did do OnlyFans, so fair enough.
What's the thing? Your boy Naval, he's very good at taking bigger ideas and making them smaller. He says, I think he said something along the lines of anything like that. The first thing you want to do is give it to your enemies for 10 years and see how it goes. And if it goes, if your enemies have it for 10 years and shit's cool, brilliant. Introduce it to everywhere. You know what I mean? Otherwise, no.
I don't know who that is, so dude.
Naval?
It wasn't.
Naval. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. You've done 2 albums with him, right?
Yeah, Naval Ravikant. Anyway, but yes, that's the thing. This is one of those things that's so open for abuse by the wicked.
What do you mean open for abuse? It does not open for abuse. It is itself abusive. That's like I mean, I don't even know what that means. Yeah. That's like saying that Iron Maiden.
I was going to say Iron Maiden. How do we both go to Iron Maiden? That was exactly the thing I had in my head.
We're like linked. We are linked.
Exactly. Yeah, the Iron Maiden is open for abuse in the wrong hands.
It's open for abuse in the wrong hands.
That gets into the wrong hands. There could be some nasty incidents, possibly some unfortunate occurrences.
Yeah. Okay, this is for you, Akira.
Hey, thanks.
Super chat. Can Akira submit Kimball Collins or Paul Oakenfold? Would he ever roll with them?
Oh, it's a jiu-jitsu question. I was like, wait, submit how? Well, no, I don't. I've never done jiu-jitsu. I'm thinking about it. My kid's going to a jiu-jitsu class on Friday, and he wants me to go with him, but I got CrossFit, But I probably should do jiu-jitsu. Like, I don't want to rock up at Jocko's place and get humiliated. So I guess that's in my future. That's in my future, Bison 17. That's in my future. I have been doing this Mexican CrossFit though for like the past 6-7 weeks, and that's very, very joyful, and that's been getting me in the zone of being able to see myself as a person that could roll around on the ground with other dudes. I didn't know it'd be weird. Because
you got to work on how you sell that. You really got to work on selling that. It'll come in time, man.
They all bare feet. I don't like feet, but it's like these are things you got to get through. You got to get through stuff. On the other side is greatness. If you ain't suffering, what the you doing? You know what I mean?
That's true. And Joe, have you listened to some of Akira the Don with Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism and Jordan Peterson over the beats? And I mean, his stuff is incredible.
No, actually, I feel blessed that I'm being introduced to this side of him first.
I feel blessed that I have not.
No.
That shit sounds weird.
No, what I was saying was that I feel blessed that I'm getting to meet this side of you first before seeing your actual work, because I'll appreciate it in a different light. But I'm looking forward to checking it out. So,
all right.
Should I look you up now? I can mute you two and just check out some of your work.
Yeah, well, I know you want to mute me. I mean, you told Nick that already. So, yeah, I got that covered.
I didn't say mute you. I just said, for crying out loud, we could do it more often. Even Viva Fry agreed with me. When you played it for him, he's like, yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea, but just don't ask me to do it. Don't lock me down for it. But
hey, I have who the hell do I think? Okay. Let's see. While we're on social media, one of my favorite sites, I got to hear all the time. I'm on I get the newsletter, Reclaim the Net. And, it's always fun to pick on other countries near us. So let's pick on Canada.
Hurrah. They make it so easy right now.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, it's like, thank you very much for, being competitive with morons.
Yeah.
Facebook is
good luck with that sheet covery.
CBC's Radio Canada is a fact checker for Canadian election. And by the way, they will probably join other stellar fact checkers like the great plagiarists on Snopes. I don't know if you seen that.
They're proto OnlyFans, by the way. Do you know about that?
Snopes are plagiarism?
Oh,
plagiarizing?
There's like a whole porn thing with the founder of Snopes and his
Yeah.
wife, and I don't remember all that, but yeah.
Yeah, you try and forget things like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do try to live my life a little fuller,
Yeah.
but yeah, Jimmy Dore did a whole thing on Snopes and there being a serial plagiarist. But I mean, when we elect the president of the United States who is an admitted plagiarist, then okay, why not? That should be a fact checker. So yeah, Jimmy Dore did one here. Snopes plagiarized a bunch of material that he used to write about articles. Yeah, why stop there? So
Ugh.
anyway, the whole fact checking racket. What do you think of it, Akira?
Oh gosh, that's a big fucking question. It's kind of interesting that we reached a period of our societal development where we suddenly needed that, and it happens coincide with when people stopped getting all of their information from the state-approved sources. That was kind of interesting. The second that the society started going off reservation, so to speak, and suddenly we needed all these institutions that were there to tell people what was and what wasn't. And it's very weird that people believe them and give them credence or credibility. I had a little thing with Christina Hoff Sommers on Twitter on this. It was just like, why do you care what these people say or think or give them any credence? Like, and she's like, well, they used to be credible. I was like, at what point were they, when they just suddenly appeared and called themselves fact checkers and put a little graphic? It's like, why are you believing these people versus anything else? Like, do you know who these people are? Have you met them? Well, like, it's just so fucking weird that people fall for it. That's what I find weird. But it's like, you're there, you're wearing your hat, right? All you got to do is put that hat on.
Yes.
And people fucking buy it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, and it's incredible.
I told the wife. I said if I put on green scrubs and a white coat and you carry a clipboard, you can walk into a hospital and tell people they're about to die and freak out.
All right, Joe, take a shot.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Okay.
And on that note, Akira, we talked about this before, but Gelman amnesia. You're literally describing that too, and I'm surprised that's not Christina Hoff Sommers' base.
Yeah, there's degrees baseness, but it's something quite interesting with sort of that generation of based people is they still have this real deference to authority, which is absent from people of following generations. And it's an interesting thing. It's one of the side effects of getting rid of Christianity. I've been thinking about this recently because Christianity had inbuilt into it that you should respect authority, essentially, and you should defer to authority unless it conflicts with, what God says to do. That's a big question amongst the Orthodox community right now with regards to the Jews and all that type of business, right? But so you've got rid of Christianity and you've got rid of that structure, and that structure was keeping people in line or keeping people respecting authority. But then you get rid of that and people stop respecting authority. And then you get to the point now where people just do not respect authority at all. But you still have the halo effect where you can call Bill Nye a science guy and you could put him in a lab coat and suddenly he can tell you about shit. And you fucking
he knows all about the climate because he was on a TV show.
Yeah, like you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson on anything at all.
You're raising a really, really interesting point to me about that metamorphosis from religion into trusting religion and religious figures into trusting the state, which I never ever considered before, and I definitely want to give that more thought. But the interesting thing is conservatives have the parties. They talk about the big shift between blue and red that supposedly happened in the 70s, but the really big shift is over the last 10 years, and that is conservatives, red state people.
Years.
Yeah, maybe even more recent. Conservatives, red state people were always people who believed in the state, police force, like that we need to give cops more authority, more leeway, and it was always people who were old and trusting the government, complete trust of the government. Younger people, the younger generation, was always like, we don't trust anyone over 30, and that's been the motto of young people ever since the 60s. So it's like, don't trust the older
anybody
people.
over 30. I had a sticker when I was growing up.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a pendulum swing of a
And it's
switcheroo.
switched exactly around. Where
It
now
is, yeah.
all the youth like trust the state, and they're like, oh, whoa, holy Dr. Fauci, the Hippocrates himself. He's the one who says that this is what we need to do, and even though we know he's going to change his mind 14 minutes from now, this is what we know is science, and this is proven. And anyone who disagrees with it is a Neanderthal, and you have to trust because the state tells us this.
He said so, Joe.
Right, because the
You're
state
not arguing
says so.
with Fauci, it's same Fauci. You're arguing with science.
Right, and the point is, but it's really the young college age and like up to 30 who are saying trust in the state, and it's people who are over 30 who are just like, what the hell are you talking about? This has no logic to it at all. And we still consider ourselves conservatives, and we just don't trust anything the state says, whereas the liberals are all saying, yeah, we really trust the state. And oh yeah, they don't even see the inner conflict of they're saying that all cops are bad, and at the same time they're trusting the state. It's
Well, this is the thing. This is the last bastion,
right?
Was it? This is the last things that they've got to let go of. So the right in the
you two co-hosts need to work your crap out and get back to me. I can't waste time you two talking over each other. Okay.
Oh my! Oh my!
What's happening currently? There's a couple of things happening concurrently, which are going to shatter, which seems to be in the process of shattering that last thing that you were talking about, the traditional conservative values of respecting authority and institutions and what have you, which has been crushed over the past 7 years since 2013. It kicked off, and the trust in the media was the first one to go. Currently, trust in the medical big pharma is collapsing. Trust in the military is now collapsing. That was like something you'd have considered a complete sacred cow. Trust in military is collapsing because of what's been going on in that place.
It's weird because you would think
pink
pink uniforms would make people trust them that much more.
But then the final thing is police, right? So when police start going around smashing people's doors in and forcibly jabbing them, or doing anything like what they're doing in Australia, that's when the whole thing is gone. And when the whole thing is gone, then what happens?
Yeah.
By the way, Akira, the military, the trust got built back up. I'm old enough, and Joe is too, actually, but being a child of the 80s and a Vietnam hangover, the military was really, really down in the doldrums for a while.
Good point. Even amongst the traditional conservative right?
It was supported mostly by the right to a degree, but there was a backlash on it, and that whole, thank you for your service. And by the way, I was in the Army. So I know firsthand, I always feel uncomfortable when people say, thank you for your service. I'm like, dude, I needed money. I just did a job. I didn't go fight anybody. I was just there. But yeah, I don't know why. I hate that. That's why I suck at clickbait too. So the channel's not growing like it should.
But I noticed this with you earlier when I've got a time for the grifting. I was like, well, what's he doing? Oh, he's reading a super chat. What? That's not grifting. That's like, that's an integral part of the whole situation, and your community wants to support you, and that's a beautiful thing. But it's something. I have one
here, as a matter of fact. It's Mikhail Archangel. It's the Christians who are getting the audits in states, rolling back mask and vax mandates. Great, super. Here comes YouTube, and opening businesses and lockdowns because Christians don't worship authority, man.
Yeah, and that's why by the way, I agree with what Michael is saying here, and that's why I was going to talk to our based version of Russell Brand and say to him, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would say. Am I wrong? He doesn't sound exactly like Russell Brand. His voice, both the
I don't have my chest out.
Russell Brand is a Brit. He's Welsh.
No,
but anyway,
they're the same. To me, the accent is exactly the same. But that's because.
Okay, so no, I get your point. So that's
you understand this guy's point.
The key bit is that you respect authority as a Christian. You're taught to respect authority. You're taught to respect institutions. You're taught to respect tradition, and you're taught to go along with things unless it conflicts with the word of God. And that's the key bit. And that's the thing that the new religion of the weirdos and the cultural vandalists and the social all that, their religion doesn't have that in it. They are the top of the pyramid. There isn't God up there. there's them. If you disagree with the party and whatever the party says this week, you're on the outs, right? But Christianity has built into it, God's up there. So yes, trust authority, trust the police, your government, whatever it is, your government, unless you're king, unless they go against what God says. And it's quite clear what God says. Well, it's relatively clear what God says. There have been translations and so on and so forth, and all that stuff about, anyway. But yes, that's the difference. So in this current situation that we're in, a lot of what's going on is clearly against what God said. So therefore, it's quite easy for a Christian to go, all right, well, this is the bit where I don't go along. They've been going along very happily for a long time. Maybe not that happily, but they've been going along, but they're not now, because we've now reached a point, because what we've reached now is a situation that is described in a book called Revelation. And, it's getting uncomfortably close to that.
I don't know if we're like at the 5th or 6th sign of the apocalypse, but I would tell you that the interesting thing to me is that I think what you're touching on here, I agree with a lot of what you just said. I think that they've made themselves, the left has made themselves gods, and specifically, victimhood is godliness. So you climb up the social scale by fixing yourself by claiming your victimhood and finding your intersectionality and defining it with as much along the hierarchy as you can. And they motivate their sheep to basically say, hey, look, if you all of a sudden go trans and you decide you want to identify as being a transgender, all of a sudden you now are closer towards being God, gain recognition status as far as that your voice now matters more than cis people. Your voice, your thoughts, no matter how airheaded they are now more worthy for the masses to hear. So, and I think that perhaps the whole Christian analogy, there's a sort of subconscious recognition that they are anointing themselves as gods and redefining the power structure based on arbitrary means, which have absolutely no basis in any sort of logic. It's just what do we want to try and favor today? And there is. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a different thought I want to get into about slavery based on that, but I'll let you respond. If you want.
Okay, well, I was going to say, by the way, Akira, Revelations would be the wrong book because Joe's an Orthodox Jew. So, wrong testament.
Huh?
Okay.
Why? He only reads books that are of his. That sounds very social justice-y. Yes. Only read books for your group. This is the thing they've done with the comics industry. They're the most. Because I saw all this shit coming because I pay attention to the comics industry. And they started doing all this shit at the end of 2012, beginning of 2013. And now you're at the situation in Marvel Comics, right? You can't write an Asian character unless you're Asian. So if you're an Asian writer, they want to get more writers of whatever protected group in, but then they're only allowed to write people who are like them. So it's like, all right, you're a Asian lesbian, so you write the Asian lesbian character, or we're going to have to turn Captain America into an Asian lesbian, and you're going to write that. They're so racist, these people. It's crazy. But the difference is, so that you touched on that, right? So Christianity has in it the idealized individual, which is Christ, right? So one of the ideas of Christ is to inspire you to be Christ-like as an individual. Right. You know what I mean? And in doing so, that's how you help the collective, is by taking individual responsibility. You take extreme personal responsibility, like Jocko was talking about in that presidential address that he dropped the other day, which if you have not seen, Jocko Willink did what I would say if I was president in this situation with Afghanistan. And it actually brought tears to my eyes the first time I watched it, because I was like, holy shit, imagine a world with actual leaders. Imagine living in a world with actual leaders.
This is a guy who's done an album with Jocko. And I will say it on the record that I kind of pushed this guy saying, hey, wouldn't it be amazing if you took that Jocko Instagram post and laid a track underneath it? I bet you a lot of people would dig on that. And by the way, I got to share this, Akira. I totally missed this earlier. Scott Campbell said Mexican CrossFit, a lot of wall work.
Yo, I couldn't stand on my head until a couple of weeks ago. Now I can because of that.
No, dude, it's a horrible, horrible joke.
Well, I didn't even get it. I thought that was a thing. They do a thing where you like, what's wall?
The wall. Who's going to build the wall? The tallest wall of them all.
Oh, right. That's it. See, I'm in Mexico now, so none of that stuff. I don't understand any of that stuff anymore.
Oh, and somebody called me out, Joe. K-Cash72, I forgot to read this earlier. I'm sorry. We got your back, Joe. Fight the power.
Fight.
Oh, I think I've got a button for that.
Perfect. Fight.
There it is. Yeah, there you go.
Fight.
Hey.
Okay. Shoot.
Oh, so should I follow up on that slavery thing that I was? Gonna
Yeah,
say?
follow up on that slavery thing.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing because the left, as you were implying, they are slaves to their ideology. It's a real form of slavery because no matter how woke you are today, no matter if you agree with everything they've said so far, whatever they come out next week, next month, next year, if you don't go along with that and say, yeah, I totally behind that too, even if you think it's sick, perverse, whatever, and there's so many different ways that they're going, which just seems sicker and sicker. If you don't accept that, you are instantly outcasted. And all the good that you've done is considered, so your brain is a slave to their ideologies. Just be like, okay, yeah, I guess some men are born with really enjoying in strange ways that Nirvana cover. You know,
and it's not just that, because you're completely right on that, but it's not just slavery. It's like a slave caste system. So it takes it way back. It's like, you know, if you read any kind of medieval fantasy novel, it'll go to a country and it's like people, and it's the Brave New World thing. So you're born into an inescapable social class. So you're a beta or you're a theta or whatever it is, right? And so you mow the lawn. There's nothing you can do about that. There's no escape ever. You know what I mean? There's no social mobility. You cannot escape from this fate of yours. So if you're born with whatever shade of skin color it is, that's you forever. And if you step out of line of what that's supposed to do or represent, you are cast out of the society at the bare minimum, because there'll be worse punishments.
You can rise up by identifying as a victim and thereby raise your caste, your place.
But you can't fully identify as a victim if you're in a caste that doesn't have victim status.
Right, but you can identify as being in a different
one
caste.
person here who's not going to be a victim for sure. Okay, hello.
Well, it's think like white gays aren't victims anymore, right?
Oh no, hell no. And
so what are they going to do?
I mean, Joe's got a little bit of Jew crib, but not much. Okay, that's almost a victim, but it's
Jew
convenient.
is not a victim. Jew is not a victim. Jew is worse than white. In fact, I actually said to Nick Riquet the first time I was on his show. What I said to him is, it's not, because I was telling him how I heard a quote that Jews are no longer a minority, they're whites. And I said, it's just the opposite. It's that white people became the Jews. Whatever it is, for 1,000 years, everything was blamed on the Jews. And now white people as a whole are the Jews. And it literally sounds exactly the same. You read anything they ever wrote about Jews, 500 years ago. Or even 70 years ago, if you're living in Germany, and you could just change white people for that now, and you'll see that it fits perfectly with what the left says about the whites. So welcome, and I offered him my Star of David. I said I'll give.
As long as it's not a yellow star. Hey, mark my words. I think this is for you, Akira. I like that this other guy seems to be a podcasting DJ. Well, hell yeah, he's a major DJ.
Yeah, I'm normally DJing. That's it, and it's just because this is set up because I was DJing last night. I'm in an Airbnb. You know what I mean? I'm trapping out the Airbnb here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and I've set up what was supposed to be my kid's bedroom as a studio, and I've got everything set up so that I can just jump on and DJ on stream whenever I want and talk to you. You know, over that side of the room is where I make my music videos, and that side is where I make records. You know, so I'm in a perfect circle. It's actually really nice. If they ever let me go back to Texas, I'm going to do this in my studio there. It's really cool. Having everything set up and within arm's reach to do whichever thing you want to do, you know?
That's actually cool. I mean, it's neat in a way how circumstances force you to adapt. And then you can take those adaptations and say, oh, you know what? Okay, because I was forced to do this, now I can look at something in a different way, because the circumstances being, thrown upon me, and, you're kind of a go-getter in that way. Like, whatever, you're going to,
that's what humans do. That's what humans are really, really good at, right? That's what humans are best at is, adapting to new circumstances and finding the useful and the good and the transformative in whatever happens to be around them. Hence picking up a rock and hey, I could fucking cave a guy's head in with this. or I could draw a smiley face on the wall. You know what I mean? Humans are amazing
Range.
in that regard.
It's range for sure. And
It's
on that
range.
note, 2018, you've been on a jag of continuously producing. How many albums have you produced since 2018? To give Joe here.
I don't
his
know.
audience.
I honestly don't know. I should be counting. Does anyone in the chat know? I do know that if I look up the Spotify playlist for music I have released since then, it's got, and this is just vocal tracks, not instrumentals.
Right.
416 songs since 2018.
3 years.
Oh, wow.
This dude is a machine.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. And seriously, Joe, when you get done, required homework, you got to check his stuff out. And he's got the Meaning Wave best of disc 3 just came out. So if you want to, you can sample like just that. And you've got about 60 songs that you can just go through and say, oh, okay, this is what this guy's doing.
Best of Volume 1 was, 69 songs and
Wow.
across 3 discs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
And I bought that on Bandcamp. It's so freaking good.
Hey, I appreciate you, my guy. God bless.
No, everybody buy it on Bandcamp. Give him a couple bucks, and then you get some extra tracks. I mean, he's not doing it for free. This is what he does for a living.
It's true.
But speaking of that,
It's a magical
Scott
thing to be
Adams.
able to do.
you just
Yes.
did a new Scott Adams album's coming out soon. Are you working with Scott directly? Because I know he's announcing and talking about it.
Yeah, well, indirectly as in I did it, and then it was like, hey, I've done this thing. Do you like it? Do you mind? Are you happy with me putting it out? And he's like, oh my goodness, this is wow. And yeah, because we did one before. I did one before, and he was very surprised and enamored with that. What's really cool about it is he said that he always had this sort of dream and sort of vision that in the future he would be a lyricist, and he didn't know how it was going to come about, but he'd always had it since he was very young, and now it's happened, and now he is officially a lyricist, and
That's cool.
with 2 albums under his belt. Well, album 2 comes out in 2 weeks.
Nice.
And
And,
Jordan Peterson is a huge fan of Akira.
Yeah,
Wow.
He's a lovely
Talked
man.
about it a good bit. You've
Do you
had him
know
on
who
your
Akira
show.
the Don? Do you know who Akira the Don is?
Of course, he's amazing.
Wow.
Jordan
Wow.
Peterson, Dave Rubin, talking about Akira.
Wow. Well done.
All right, so
I'm
question for
embarrassed
you.
now.
Sam Josh
But
wants
you've
to
got
know.
such an authoritative hat.
I
How
do.
could you be
You have to
embarrassed?
listen to me. So now, while I'm wearing the authoritative hat, I'm going to invite you that when I get unsuspended to come on and join me on a live stream next week.
Why did they suspend you? But what was their reason for suspending you?
They claim that I
Fauci
shared.
talk.
They allegedly shared medical misinformation.
Oh,
And-
not that one.
Yes, and
What
the
was it? A
medical
CNN article?
Yes.
You as well.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, that's happened to so many people last week. It's so weird.
Now, I'll tell you, and Robert Gruller told me that I got a strike for it because I already had a warning. Robert Gruller got a warning because and his video was taken down because he shared the same video. CNN. It was CDC on CNN. They didn't like some of the stuff that was said there, and that was considered. By sharing that and then opining about what the ramifications of those statements were, that was enough to say that I was committing medical misinformation. Don't quote the CDC.
Here's the thing I've noticed, and I wonder if they're doing this deliberately. It seems about once a month, usually CNN or some other trusted source, will put out a story that's somehow contradictory to the official narrative, and then YouTubers and bloggers and tweeting people will run with it, and they'll all get shut down. Because they'll go, hey, look, even CNN is saying this thing that we think.
Right.
And then they'll get shut down. And I wonder if that's deliberate, because it's happened with quite frightening regularity for the past year and a half, at least.
I've had people on here who literally, I remember I opened the show talking about Allison being thrown off, suspended. And, Allison got suspended because she was using CNN clips to show what was on CNN that YouTube is allowing, and that got her banned for a week. I've had Ford
That's a good
Fisher
one.
on. Ford Fisher does news to share. Have you seen all that footage about Antifa when they like to knock people around and all the rioting and all that?
No,
He
never,
is the
never.
guy-
I only ever see them cuddling people.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, those. Okay.
That's all they
but
do.
in
They're
between the
cuddling out.
cuddles, between the cuddling, Ford Fisher is one of those guys out there who's got the cameras on and he gets first person footage. And his footage is bought by literally CNN, PBS, and every other network. And it's on YouTube. But if he puts it on his own channel and he's the first person source, he's demonetized. He's been completely demonetized.
Yeah.
He can't show first person source video. So
He's not
it
a
is
trusted first person source. He's not trusted. You got to be a trusted source.
right.
Be a
So
trusted
somebody's
source.
got to buy it from him. So
Yeah.
ironically, Joe's a lawyer. If this was a criminal case and he had footage, he would be the guy who would be called to the witness stand because he was actually the photographer and could authenticate the footage,
Yes.
not CNN or anybody else. So he is the most authoritative a source of his footage.
It's called the best
But
source
that's-
rule. It's in the rules of evidence. It's called the best source rule. You have to get the best source. Sometimes and if you don't have the best source, you have to explain to the judge and find an excuse as to why you should be able to use a secondary source. And then you have to validate that second source. But if you have best source, well, then you got best source. So
Yeah.
no one would go with CNN. No court of law would say, hey, let's get the CNN producer rather than the photographer himself to see whether this imagery is accurate.
Mm.
And that's my point, though. YouTube is spanking him down
Yep. Oh,
as not able to do it. Right? But he's
the idiocracy is strong with this company. So
You think?
It's very
By the way,
specific.
that's
It's
why I'm
specific
wearing the
individual.
dedicated shirt to the
nice.
Very
evening
nice.
here.
Are you selling those?
Oh, no, dude. I forgot where they were, but yeah, I wish I did.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. I mean, yeah, it's no one's pretending what they're up to. They're very clear about what they've said very clearly, that what happened after sort of 1990.
Did he freeze?
Whoa. And what happened was he got frozen.
You think that's a coincidence? You think that wasn't? I'm telling you, they're messing with us. They're messing with us.
As
Eric,
long as
save me from YouTube.
How am I going to save you from YouTube, dude? My whole channel got removed. So, all right, let me answer a couple things here real quickly. I can't answer this one for Akira that I wanted because, well, he's a very fine looking still photograph. But good question.
Sam Josh is
Charles
actually
wants to know,
he's
Tom
one of my
McDonald.
he's actually a really bright guy. I've had him on my show as a guest on my
cool.
live streams. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, no, I wanted to get the question in there. I just haven't. Bob Charles, when am I going to respond to the new Tom McDonald video? I have not had the opportunity to at this point soon. And then I guess he's going to have another video coming out on Friday. So I guess I'm going to have to respond to two. They don't do very well, though. So please, when I do, please recommend to some friends so that way I can get some views. I'm trying to get Tom McDonald to come on, and he's probably not ever going to do it if I never get good views on the reactions. But yeah, I do plan to do it. What I've seen from it, because I don't really do a straight reaction, I kind of do more of an analysis on, okay, this is what he's saying, here's what's going on in the world, stuff like that. This one I've got to listen to a couple more times. When I heard it, though, I was like, wait, this sounds a lot like earlier stuff that he's done. And I mean, it's cool and all that, but I'm going to have to get into it and then find the angle on how I'm going to talk about it. You see, because unlike Joe Neerman here, I have no skills. I am not a lawyer. I just know all the lawyers. I am not a body language expert. I just know all the body language experts.
How did you meet those dudes? The body language ones.
I'm just interested in it, and
it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
I like it, but I never put myself out to be an expert in anything because I'm not, and I just want to facilitate and introduce other people to it. D-Man, thank you. What's my take on the Proud Boys? The Proud Boys were established as a joke by Gavin McInnes several years back, and they
was she asking you or she was asking me? I don't even know, or Akira. Who was
who
D-Man? Yeah, who was he asking? Was he asking you?
Our take. I mean, I get it. Could be,
you give yours. You give yours, and then I'll give mine.
Okay, well, mine is that the Proud Boys were established by Gavin McInnes a few years back, and it was a joke. That's why they had things like what breakfast cereal you eat, and blah 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 blah. Definitely was a right wing type of thing. Gavin McInnes was the co-founder of Vice. I read his biography as well, and the whole thing kind of spiraled out of control to where you had people who were in the Proud Boys, who were like military or whatever, who would actually fight back against Antifa and other groups at gatherings. The problem is that the Proud Boys kind of got a really bad reputation. The leader of the group was an FBI informant who I believe just got sentenced today or recently. And
Pay your child support.
What?
Pay your child support.
Oh, okay. There's that too.
Yeah. That was all Milo's fault, by the way. The Proud Boys first did some violence at a Milo event. By the way, he got kicked off YouTube today.
Milo did?
Yeah. Finally, I was amazed he was still on YouTube. They shut his YouTube down today.
Really? Well, he's been doing the whole gay conversion thing.
That's why they took him down. Specifically, they said this video where you announced something about, and he interviewed someone else who converted from gay to not gay anymore. That was the video that got him done.
I have trouble with Milo because, okay, we've thrown the term grifter around a little bit. Milo is kind of always felt to me like he sort of travels with the winds a little bit. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I remember him when he was a British tech journalist.
Yeah, and then he was in Gamergate, and then he was in Breitbart, and then I'm just saying that Milo is very, very skilled at trolling and getting attention.
Him and Alex Jones were the first two people to get publicly sort of banished from the village or whatever in the fashion that's now just normal.
Sincere. Alex Jones, I think, believes in it. Do you think that Milo completely believed in everything that he was talking about?
I don't know him. I wouldn't presume to judge. I'll say this about him. He was good at what he did. He was very entertaining, and he was probably too good at what he did. Well, as far as what he believes or not, I mean, he never presented himself in that fashion anyway. He always presented himself as a kind of trickster and an imp and a this, that, and the other. Yes. Yes, quite specifically, yeah.
Like Michael Malice, but Michael Malice is, I think, smarter.
Yeah, well, yeah. Although, I don't know, Michael Malice, because sometimes some of the things Michael Malice says, I follow his Twitter, it's brilliant. And some of the things he says, I'm amazed that he isn't, struck down by the justice gods.
He's got a cheekiness about him, though. I think
it's that haircut. It's a very cheeky haircut.
Yeah,
Very cheeky haircut. It's very lovely. He's got a lovable face.
Yeah. Somebody who I will not quote, but other than saying it's a name that I know Eric Hunley knows and many people in the audience know, said to me, the fascinating thing about Michael Malice is he's an anarchist who is enough of a capitalist to sell underwear on every stream that he does. So
sounds like what Barbs would say, but anyway.
I don't know enough about the contemporary definition of anarchism to know whether it's incompatible with selling stuff. Is it or not? I don't know.
He's an anarcho-capitalist.
Okay.
Which is a weird. I don't know. Michael Malice. I put him in with Gavin McInnes in that too. I mean, there's definitely a trolling side, but
Gavin McInnes is one of the funniest people in the world.
I agree.
He was one of the funniest people. What they did to him was so twisted, just so inverted from the actuality of him and what he'd always been up to. And it's very ironic that he gave birth to Vice and what Vice became.
Oh, no kidding. Well, by the way, here, somebody nailed it with Michael Malice. I think this is what it's about. It's like Tropic Thunder, Eric. He's the dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Yeah, I think that's it. That would be Michael. But yeah, I enjoy Michael. I mean, I hope to have him on sometime.
I think he's brilliant.
I got close, and then I think he's gotten too lofty now.
Well, you need to lofty yourself up a bit then, don't you? There you go. There's some impetus.
I have you on, Akira. I'm riding your coattails. You're going to pull me up. Pull me up.
By the way, do you think it's interesting that my internet got yeeted the second I started talking about what YouTube was up to?
I noticed that.
Somebody insightful pointed that out.
Yeah. Was that you?
Yeah.
Was that you?
As soon as you said it, I started asking Eric to save me and protect me because they obviously had gotten to you, and you were all the way down in Mexico.
Yeah, but you're authority. You're an authoritative
that's
figure.
True. I didn't think of that. I sometimes forget I'm wearing.
Yeah, you gotta tilt your head forward before they do it.
The impenetrable hat of ask me no questions.
It really works. I'm half frightened of you and half in awe. You know.
Speaking of Gavin, Akira, have you done anything with him, or have you thought about it?
With who?
With Gavin McInnes.
Oh, with Gavin. Oh, have I done anything like musically?
Yeah. I mean, because he's such a cheeky bastard.
Oh,
I can see some fun.
He's
fun
a
stuff.
he's a cheeky fellow, isn't he? I haven't.
Like, one of the funniest songs that you've done has got to be the Jordan Peterson drinking song.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Shouts out to Theo Von, who facilitated that with his conversation. Some of Peterson's best conversations. What was that noise?
That was funny, and your little oompa, it's kind of like a
some of the best Jordan Peterson conversations on the internet are with Theo Von. Theo Von really brings something wonderful out of him. Peterson is very much, depending on who he talks to, you get a very different experience, right? And
sure.
Theo Von really brought some wonderful things out of him.
How about Russell Brand?
What's that?
Russell Brand, I thought that was an interesting. Now, don't do Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson because that'll kill everybody.
I have no interest. I mean, people ask me when you're going to do Sam Harris. I've never heard him say anything that interested me or that I felt
Sam Harris is boring.
Needed. The way I describe when I hear a piece of speech that I want to turn into a record is like the way Peterson talks about when he understands something in the Bible. Finally, is that he sees a passage that glitters to him, and that is what will happen with me. I'll hear something or read something, and it will glitter, and it'll present itself to me as music in that moment. And then all my job is to capture that moment when it presented itself to me as music, and sort of bring out what was already there in a way. And I've never heard anything that Sam Harris has said that evoked that in me. And I'll be interested if anyone has, because lots of people really like him, but I don't know if it hits them in that way. I don't know. But anyway, not for me in the story I'm telling with Meaning Wave. I've not heard anything that Samuel Harris has said yet. But not to say that I could
get time that you can't get back. Listen to Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson.
Oh, I did. It felt like a real waste of time. Like I've said this about Peterson before. It's frustrating. A lot of my favorite stuff with Peterson's is when he's sort of breaking down the archetypal nature of stories and things of that nature. And I would love more of that. I think like arguing with Sam Harris is like a waste. It's a waste of his powers. It's a waste of his superpowers. You know, he could do like cool shit. Like he could, watch Evangelion and break that down. I would much rather have Jordan Peterson talking about Evangelion than Jordan Peterson debating Sam Harris.
Totally agree.
I have to agree. I watched him debate some Russian philosopher for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
I felt like I wasted 2 hours of my life.
Yeah, it's more interesting with Kathy Newman.
Yeah, that's funny because then you get to watch the machine. What was wonderful about that was the machine exposing itself.
Mm-hmm.
But with Zizek and Sam Harris, it's just like having stoned arguments with like students when you're 15 or something. Like.
And I'll tell you, I also really enjoy some of his work. He has a 2-hour piece where he's breaking down each chapter of his first book, and I could dissect what he was talking there about for 2 hours and make 10 hours worth of video talking about it, because it's like he like sort of will just like highlight what it is he means, and when I listen to him talk about that sort of stuff, you know, where he's talking, some of the ideas I've already expressed here had a genesis in listening to him when I was talking about the whole hierarchy of, you know, and finding your hierarchy. And, you know, that comes from him talking about, you know, lobsters and finding, and that's much more about it's much more than cognitive dissonance when you're fighting with them, that it's an attack on their identity, When you point out the hypocrisy of the left, you're not simply they don't want to tune out because cognitive dissonance it's much deeper than that, as he explains. Is that you're showing that all of their self-worth and their self-value has no basis at all, and it just taps into their insecurities in a way that they don't want to have a discussion about it at all. They don't want to. It's not just they're not embracing the brain and not listening. It's like you're fundamentally attacking who they are as people, based on and their whole position in the social strata. So, but that's all from Jordan. So, you don't get that when he's arguing with other types.
I like it when Jordan is being interviewed because he is thinking about his answer before he answers it. That's my favorite part, is that I do thinks, and I love how he's discovering an answer while he's doing it. A lot of his lectures and stuff I don't find super inspiring, but then this is a generational deal. Like, Joe, you've got a really smart dad, great logic or whatever, and a lot of this Jordan Peterson stuff is like, well, if you had a good father, you would already have heard this shit.
Well, that was the point.
And I'm not criticizing. I'm just like,
that's literally the point. That's the position that he took in 2016, 2017 for a generation of people who'd been robbed of that.
Yeah, none of you had dads. None of you had dads, real dads. So I'm going to play that role for you right now. Sit up straight and listen.
But the other thing he did was introduce. Yeah. The other thing he did was introduce people to an aspect of their culture which had been stolen from them. Also, in the way that I was in the way that Alan Watts introduced people to the East, Peterson introduced the children of the West to the West that had been denied them, and they had not been told about, and they had not been given their birthright, which was taken from them. That's what he did, which is a really incredible thing for one human being to do for so many people.
Yeah. I agree. Oh, I got a super chat here. We don't really have time to do this, but can we get some beats in the background, please? We're about to wrap it up because we ran long. So I don't know that we can do it right now.
Well, beats in the background.
But the cool thing is that I can hopefully entrap Akira to coming back.
There you go. You got a beat in the background. Is that coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You got a beat in the background. Woo!
All right, so let me get with everybody. What is coming up? Joe, you're suspended from YouTube until yesterday, a week from yesterday. Yeah. So everybody needs to go to goodlogic.locals.com so you can get a little bit more of Joe. Yeah. And at a minimum, I keep saying this over and over, you don't have to necessarily pay to subscribe. We do appreciate it, obviously. But if you at least follow us, it enables us to let you know, hey, we're suspended on YouTube. Hey, this went down, because you're there, so we can at least get the message out. So, consider following him. Akira the Don.locals.com. Definitely check that out. And unstructured.locals.com. Take care of your faithful original host here.
Yes.
And on that note, have a wonderful freaking evening, everybody.